Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 52, I believe, of Active Reload. 52, 53, you know, who cares about numbers? We're all
It's
good.
52.
So it's a full year. And for that reason, we're on the Sheridan Media YouTube channel. It's a full year of doing Active Reload episodes. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. If you're new here, subscribe to the Active Reload YouTube channel. We have our own channel. We'll link it in the description, obviously. We talk about video games here. If you haven't caught on, that's the whole Active Reload joke. We're going to talk about some Elden Ring stuff today. EA Sports College Football did a Dynasty deep dive. Huge news. Probably one of the biggest games of the year.
Definitely.
We're going to talk about that a little bit. And then we've both been playing a ton of games.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll talk about a ton of games.
Yep.
Welcome to the show.
Who's your favorite number 52?
I don't have one.
Ray Lewis, baby.
That makes sense. It is 4th of July weekend as of recording this, or I guess week. It's the second here today.
Patriotic outfit.
Yeah. It was a tough day for America yesterday. They lose in the Copa America. Lose to Uruguay. Uruguay get kicked out of the Copa America. You know, there's not a lot of things that I get oorah patriotic about very often.
U.S. soccer gets you?
American sports playing other nations is like the biggest thing. And soccer is like one of the only sports, team sports, that we professionally play that we're like still very much the underdog in a lot of the matchups that we play in.
Yeah, because our best athletes are not playing soccer. They're not playing soccer.
They're playing American football.
But I guarantee if LeBron James or Michael Jordan grew up with a soccer ball in his backyard.
Of course. But that's the thing. That's why I want America to win. Even though we win at everything else. NBA, the Olympics for basketball are probably going to be a joke this year. We have a disgusting team.
Like good?
Disgustingly good team.
Are we talking about video games?
We somehow got Joel Embiid, and I'm going to tie this into video games here in a second. We've got a disgusting every other game at the Olympics, Summer Olympics especially.
Yeah, but then you got some of the best all-stars this year on foreign teams. Right?
Yeah, true.
Are they going to be playing for foreign teams? Like Luka?
Yeah, Luka's going to be on Slovenia, I think is what he's on. There's some like decent a decent French team as always. The French are always pretty good.
Yeah.
So
real quick, I'm a big Sacramento Kings fan. I used to hate when the Kings owner would trade and go for European players. This was like 2 decades ago. It would drive me nuts.
Now it's all the rage.
Now, like he was actually onto something.
Yeah, it's all the rage now. Speaking of that, Olympics, you remember the Olympic Games? The Olympic video games that they used to come out with? Those were actually good. I don't remember the last one they did. I think it was like
Sochi in Japan.
Which was 2012?
Yeah, around
something
there.
like that. Sochi 2012? Or no, London was 2012.
Yeah. But it was the Olympics after or before?
Before that, something like that.
Before.
But those games were fun. I actually enjoyed playing. I mean, they were okay. Not like good, but they were fun to play.
Bad.
They were okay.
I remember they come out every
spamming
year.
over and over and over again to joust.
You can still find some that come out.
Yeah, but I mean like the licensed with John Williams music playing in the background.
Star Wars?
He's got the Olympic theme.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing. The 1982 Olympic theme by John Williams. I don't know if it's 82, but he did the theme. Well, that sounds like Star Wars. That's not right. It sounds like that.
You just did the Cantina song.
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, once you start listening to enough of John Williams or really any like...
Or like the Boam guy. Come on, your favorite
Boam guy.
Boam.
I don't know what that is. Hans Zimmer.
The Zimmer.
That's the weirdest way to describe.
Oh no, everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about when it's talking about score.
Right.
Boam.
Okay. But what I'm saying is they all have like their cliches that they kind of latch onto. Hans Zimmer, maybe the Boam guy. Yeah, that's his thing.
Yeah, definitely.
John Williams, like that sort of stuff and all of his stuff.
It's the Spielberg.
Yeah.
Lucas.
Welcome to
video game.
Welcome to Active Reload. Olympic Games, the video games, fun, and so are the Olympic Games to watch.
Yeah.
Depending on who you are.
I think Mario or Nintendo do the Mario Olympics.
They do Mario versus Sonic Olympics. That was like a thing that they used to do.
Good.
Those are actually fun. A lot more arcadey, obviously.
There's definitely some games are better than others.
That's how it always works, though. So Olympics.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And the U.S. soccer team, they lose again. I want to just punch things because of it.
It's all about the World Cup. Who cares about Olympic soccer?
It's not Olympic, though. It's Copa America, which is like all of the North America versus South America teams.
Speaking of South America, I just got back from Mexico. That's where we
Yeah, Mexico.
And that's why I have such a beautiful tan.
Yeah, you're darker.
Margarita burns everywhere.
You got a little burn. Yeah, that's all right. So let's talk some video games, huh? How about that?
Yeah.
Let's talk some video games. Elden Ring. It had a DLC come out. It's the talk of the town, per se. And guess what? Pretty good. Who would have thought? Well, according to everybody else, I didn't play it.
You have to actually get past a major part of the original game.
You have to have like 80 hours into the game.
Oh, yeah. Probably more.
Yeah. In order to get access to the DLC, which is crazy. If any other developer did that, can you imagine the outrage?
I don't know. These guys can just do anything.
That's what I mean. Like, FromSoftware can get away with this because it's like, yeah.
They are rock
This is what we do.
Rockstar hasn't put out a game.
Rockstar's Rockstar.
In a long time.
I was a sophomore in high school when GTA 5 came out.
Jeez.
Red Dead Redemption 2, though. That was 5-6 years ago. So, whatever.
Who cares about that?
But yeah, the Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree getting rave reviews. It's also been, people are saying it's too hard, which is, that feels like a common thing every time any FromSoftware game comes out.
Here's what I say.
But,
go ahead.
Like, heavily influenced FromSoftware players are being like, yeah, this is hard. Like, this is way harder than I'd normally like.
Isn't that what they made this DLC for?
Yeah, I think so.
How did you expect? You, like, required 150 hours or whatever, or 150 level.
Right. And you have to beat a boss in order to even get into the DLC, too.
I played this game for many hours. I'm not close to 150.
Yeah. No shot. No. Yeah, that's crazy. If any other, like, really, truly, if any other developer did that, I think they're, like, if Rockstar was like, yeah, you have to have 80 plus hours in order to access story DLC for GTA 5 or Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Which,
that'd be a big...
To be fair, though, that's about what it takes to beat those games.
The thing is, Elden Ring is a hard game anyways.
Yeah.
And so if you want an expansion pack, well, it's even harder.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with Bloodborne, and the Bloodborne DLC was way harder than their main game.
Way harder. That makes sense. And this is
I beat Bloodborne, and I think it was like Hunter Pack or Trials of the Hunter or something like that, and I couldn't even come close.
Goofy
it's one of those games where if you take a break and jump back into the deep,
it'll rip you apart. But Elden Ring does it again. They do it again. FromSoftware, they don't make bad things.
Now, they lower the difficulty.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is when it first came out, it was harder than it is now because I guess they patched it and they lowered the difficulty on some of the stuff, which is we never see that from FromSoft. Like FromSoft is historically like, yeah, we're not going to put difficulty in our games because we want it to be hard. We don't want sliders.
No. Well, it's
cool.
funny because the more you play those games, you can figure out a way to make things easier.
And that's what they want
every single game of theirs.
That's part of the allure for a lot of those games. It's like you will figure this out. It'll just take a long time to do.
Yeah. What is it called? Like the mimics? The mimic is a thing that you can get in Elden Ring where you can mimic your character in a ghost sort of thing.
Companion. Oh, right. Yeah.
And give him a sword that heals himself, and then you are on easy mode for the rest of the game until you hit the DLC.
I'm gonna have to get that then.
It's not easy to get that though.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I couldn't even get it.
Yeah. See, Elden Ring is. I'll say this time and again. I appreciate what it did, how good it is for the industry because it's one of the best games arguably ever made,
and it's a niche game.
It's a niche game. Yeah, but that's the thing now.
It's an open world third-person action RPG.
But what I mean, like, it is a niche game, but there are a ton of new people coming into it, which is cool.
That's the great thing about FromSoftware is that these guys do one thing really well, better than everybody.
Right.
And everybody is chasing that and not even coming close.
No.
Like, what's the closest? Like, the Team Ninja got the closest with Neo, probably. And they're built to have, because they started as do Ninja Gaiden, which is a third-person action adventure game that is hard.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we can put some RPG elements in it.
I was going to say Sekiro, but that's also FromSoft. I forgot that was FromSoft as well. Yeah, there's really not anybody else that's close in terms of like capturing an audience as well.
They completely changed the industry, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, and now they're here, 10 years later?
In it.
Yeah.
And we had Game Fest, where it was just third-person action adventure RPG Souls-like games back to back to back to back throughout the whole Game Fest, all because of FromSoftware.
Not to mention Stellar Blade, the PlayStation exclusive third-person action RPG game that came out, sold 1 million copies. It was announced that they sold 1 million copies.
That's cool.
Which terrible take on my part, because I remember coming on the show, I think after it was after the PlayStation Direct or whatever it's called, and being like, I don't think this game's going to sell very well. And I could not have been more wrong. So shout out to Stellar Blade developers.
Most of those sales came from pre-sales, by the way.
Which is crazy. I saw that and I was like, this isn't doing anything for me. And I was totally wrong. That's me. That's my fault. I'm sorry. Okay?
I just think...
Shout out Stellar Blade.
I think you can... If you market a game that looks like something that people want to play and you don't hide anything...
Right.
You're going to do well. Pre-sales wise.
Facts.
And they also had a demo, which was fantastic.
Oh yeah, true. That speaking of, I forgot to put this on here. They had a demo, and that
who's they?
Stellar Blade.
Okay.
That leads me to another point. I saw that the I almost called it Mechasalt. It's not Mechasalt. What's the Warhammer 40K game that's coming out? The
Space Marine
2. They just announced that they're not doing a beta. They were canceling their beta. Yeah, and they said something of the effect of, quote, we're just working on a good release is their goal.
Guess what that means?
Probably not going to be very good.
That means the beta was not going to be good.
Yeah, which sucks because that game looked awesome.
Because
that trailer was so cool.
Those guys always do at least stress tests and server tests and stuff like that.
They canceled it, and they said, we're not going to do it this year.
That game comes with an online multiplayer game, though. Portion, I should say.
Oh, I figured that's like most of it, though, isn't it? I figured it was going to be
There's a co-op.
Vermintide.
I mean, think of it like Vermintide. Vermintide, there's not a PvP. This game has a PvP in it, as well as PvE, and as well as single player campaign. Think of Left 4 Dead.
I'm excited for that game. I mean, the beta test, the canceling of a beta test does not make me very excited. That makes me a little nervous.
Did you not play?
No, I've never played the first one.
But Gears of War but cool.
The trailer for the second one was sick. It was awesome. Yeah. I was like, this is cool as heck. Which, to be fair, I'm kind of falling into a trap there because Warhammer, any of their trailers or any of their cinematics are always really good.
Their direction is fantastic.
Kind of like Overwatch. Overwatch is the same thing where they have these insane cinematics that they put out, and it's like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
And their lore is always super interesting.
Right, and then you play the game and you're like...
And there's glitches everywhere.
Yeah, you're like, I'd rather jump out the nearest window.
I thought, not Vermintide, I
was trying to think of the other one too.
Wartide? I don't know.
That sounds close.
And I thought I played that by myself, and it was fun.
You played it by yourself, and it was fun?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Props.
Good. The community in that game was really good.
Yeah.
If I can just remember what it's called.
Yeah, I can't remember it either. That game was. I enjoyed my time with that game, but for me, it also ran into the problem where it just became increasingly repetitive.
Yeah.
And for me, that is the easiest way for me to get bored of a game is to do like the same map over and over again, unless it's something I really enjoy.
I love the 40K environment.
Yeah, I agree. The art direction's awesome. Gothic.
Slum, Gothic.
Yeah.
Oh, so
futuristic
cool.
Gothic space.
Slums.
Sci-fi. Yeah, it's very unique. There's really nothing like it.
Hardcore futuristic poverty in those games. It's kind of weird, but it's cool. And then they're under the Vermintide, which takes place 40,000 years before. It's more of a medieval setting, but there's like rats and
it's like a plague and it's overtaking. And
I love those.
Those games are cool. And then you get to be a Space Marine.
Yeah,
awesome
with a chainsaw.
Whoa, that reminds me of another game, Gears of War.
Yeah, that's why.
So yeah. Anyways, we just kind of went off track there a little bit, but Elden Ring DLC, it's popping off. It's good. Who would have thought otherwise? I don't think anybody was expecting the DLC to be bad. I think maybe people were getting a little bit nervous because there was, like, we were seeing little amounts of content, it's coming out in like spurts, and there wasn't a lot to it.
Too much.
Right. And it feels like that's kind of what FromSoftware's MO kind of is. And people have been asking for a Bloodborne 2, it feels like forever as well.
People have been asking a Bloodborne remaster. Not even a remaster, just a 60 FPS boost of some sort.
I'm surprised they haven't taken up Bloodborne 2 or a remaster.
Sony. Do they ever bring back old games if it's not Last of Us?
Yeah, wait, so FromSoft, do they not own the IP of Bloodborne?
No.
Wow,
not
that
all
sucks.
of it.
So we'll never get a Bloodborne 2, which is crazy because Sony should be jumping on that. That would be huge for them.
I mean, Dark Souls is like Namco, Sekiro.
Yeah.
I think there's Activision. They did an Activision published game too, I believe, if I remember correctly.
An Activision published FromSoft game?
I think maybe it was something another big one. But it might have been Sekiro. Somebody published it out. There's Koei Tecmo is.
So they're not a publisher. They probably could be now, though.
FromSoft does whatever the heck they want.
Well, that's what I mean. If they wanted to, they could probably publish their own games now as well.
That's why they're so good at releasing games on time and efficiently. Like they're not broken. They have their backers just. First of all, they have multiple projects going at the same time, and then they have different publishers.
They're second only to, I would say, Rockstar in being able to be like, look, publisher, we're just going to do whatever we want and take our time with this. You're not going to rush us.
Imagine being in the room.
Yeah.
When it comes to Elden Ring. Just Elden Ring. Like, we're going to make this game hard as balls.
Right. Yeah. People are going to quit this game. They're not going to finish. But that's the other thing too. Yeah.
The amount of people that beat that game, if you just look at the achievements, it's beat that game and then you'll get a normal achievement.
Yeah. Not one of the, not the rare achievement.
How many people play? Like 30% of people who play this game beat this game. Ridiculous.
True. That's very high for 30%. Like,
it wasn't quite 30. I think it was like 27.
Yeah.
25 to 30 around there.
That's still an absurd amount for a game like that, too. So, FromSoft, they do it again.
Less people beat The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Which is considered one of the greatest games ever. You never beat it.
No, I did beat it.
You beat part 2?
No, I never started part 2 because I didn't love part 1. So I was like, I can do without it.
Part 2's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's move on.
What a hater.
I'm not a hater.
I understand.
Part 2 is probably better for, like, in my sense of why I hate part 1.
No, I know exactly why you hate part 1.
It's just boring. Like, playing the game feels boring to me. Part 1, anyways.
Yeah, the part 2, the stealth actually works. So
see that I would probably maybe be on board for that. Yeah. And it seems like the story dynamic in 2 seems a lot more interesting.
No, it's not.
What? I'm never gonna play it.
I mean, Ellie's a cool character, but the other girl,
Abby,
is not that cool.
She's out for revenge.
Everybody's out for revenge.
Yeah, it is. It's Last of Us.
It starts to get weird.
The whole play, it's all dark. Okay, let's move on. EA Sports College Football. It's big, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming. It's the month of EA Sports College Football. Then we get actual college football next month, which is crazy to me. But we are mere 14 days, doing the math here, 13 days away from early access coming out, 15th. It's going to be a big day. Okay, I might take the day off. We'll see. Okay, 15th, big day for me.
I'm not going to do that.
I might take the day off, play a little Dynasty, get my recruitment board all set up. They announced
Your what board?
My recruitment board.
You're going to make one?
Hell, yeah, duh. I got to set up for 2026, and then how am I a Dynasty if I don't have recruits coming in next year?
I want to play that game. I like the quick plays of those games.
Do you not do Dynasties?
I do.
Yeah, everybody does Dynasties.
But I do like one season. That's it.
No, see, I'll do an Oklahoma one. That's my favorite team. And then I'll take them to the national championship, win as many as possible, create a Dynasty, and then you do one with like a smaller school, build them up.
Yeah, I always like to start with a small school.
Old Dominion. You'll take them to the national championship.
Come on, Oregon. I'm going to apply for this job.
Yeah.
I never get it.
You know what's funny? What? There's actually a funny story about that. There is a manager in, I think it's Germany, a soccer manager in Germany, in top flight, like the Bundesliga, which is the highest league in Germany. He got the managerial job
from Football Manager,
from playing, like he had the most hours in Football Manager, and he applied for it, and he interviewed so well that he got the job.
Is he doing well?
I don't know if he's doing. I don't think he's doing.
Not over.
I don't think he's doing bad. I think he's like very middle of the table. I think I can't remember the guy's name.
Gran Turismo situation. They're gonna make a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he's gonna get someone killed on accident too.
From gamer to what is it? What was the tagline of that stupid movie? From gamer to racer. So stupid.
Did you end up watching that movie?
No, I didn't. I probably never will. Sorry.
It's good. I just can't get over the scene where
it's a Neil Blomkamp movie. He's great. He did District 9. He did Elysium. I love those movies.
I didn't like Elysium.
Elysium's okay. District 9's really good.
Very good.
But, fair enough.
What about Chappie? I love Chappie.
I haven't seen Chappie. Do need to see that, though. But yeah, the Dynasty Deep Dive in EA Sports College Football.
Throw it out there.
Helmet stickers. That was the biggest thing for me. I got to look at it here. Sorry. Helmet stickers. They progress through the year, which I thought was really cool. So you'll start off if you're Ohio State. Blank. Looks really weird. Blank. Silver helmet with the red top. And then as you go on, they specifically asked different teams how people get their helmet stickers throughout the year, and then they'll add them on depending on interceptions and whatnot.
For grades, especially like Notre Dame, Stanford.
cares about grades? What are we talking about? College football here?
NIL
or what?
these days.
Cares about the grades?
So did you sell your likeness for $4 million?
No, see, that's not. I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you in that. But Deion Sanders also walked up to the NFL draft knowing he was going number 1 back in 1992 or whatever, and he had a 0.0 GPA from Florida State. So it's been like that for a while. Okay, like that's just how it is. If you're good enough, you don't need to go to class.
Yeah, I know.
That works for some people, and that's okay.
I had a friend,
but as long as you want the helmet sticker, then you get good grades.
So I went to Oregon with a junior college, and my friend had a class with certain stars. Right, they would show up.
Oh,
on the very first day.
Okay,
midterms and then finals.
Like athletes.
Yeah, they would have people give them the answers.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, how can you possibly
if you were
get past this quiz or this test? You haven't been here.
You're not going to sacrifice the 4-star recruit that's out there putting up 2,300 yards on the season at running back because he got a D in the class. You know how much money that would cost that university? Too much. There's no shot. So that's what I'm going to do in my dynasty. I'd be like, hey, you can go to class, but we got people to help you out a little bit. So, Dynasty Deep Dive. Helmet stickers are really cool. They showed a lot of the recruitment stuff, which is really cool. The transfer portal is in the game, and you'll have to prevent players of your own grouping to not enter the transfer portal if you want to keep them.
That's cool.
There's a lot of the recruitment stuff that looks pretty substantially different from NCAA 14, 11 years ago, obviously. And it looks more fleshed out, more thorough. A lot of different things that you can do with your recruits and whatnot, and trying to convince people to come or convince high school recruits to come and play for your football team and play for your program and whatnot. And then some of the stuff that did look the same was like the coaching tree that you had as a head coach that you could, you have like 3 archetypes that you can be, which is like a motivator, a tactician, or a recruiter, I think is what it is. And a lot of that looks pretty similar to what NCAA 14 was, which is, I'm okay with it. Didn't think they messed that up at all. Custom conferences are back. Awesome. You can have anywhere from 4 to 20 teams in your conference.
It's not a conference.
Perfecto. Exactly where we're headed. No big deal. 20-team conference. I think probably one of these conferences is already at 20 teams. I think the Big Ten is pretty close. If not, the SEC is pretty close.
That's just ridiculous.
And, if you want...
Some conferences have 2 teams.
But Pac-12. Shout out to Pac-2. You love you. Oregon State, Washington State. Hold strong. From a graphic
design point of view, all you have to do is get rid of the 1 and you're good.
Yeah, it's easy for them. But if you are like that and you're like, I want to go back to the glory days. Where's my Pac-12 of old? You can do that. Yep. You can put all the other teams back to the Pac-12.
I want to go back
to Cal.
Pac-10.
You can go Pac-10.
Who cares about Utah and
Colorado? Put them back in the Big 12. That's okay too. That's all fine. You can do that, which is very cool. They kind of had that a little bit in NCAA 14 as well, but it required you to do some, it wasn't fully immersive. There were things where you had to, in order to put one team in this area, you had to remove another team into this area. But it doesn't seem like they're doing that. And you can make it so that there's no divisions as well. So it can be a 16-team conference and just the top 2 teams in the conference make it to the conference championship game. That whole spiel. They got bowl games in there that are actual licensed bowl games. Pop-Tarts Bowl is in there. We're going to see our Pop-Tart guy. Yeah, we're going to see the Pop-Tart guy go in and get toasted. One of the greatest scenes of last year's bowl season. Mayo, I think the Duke's Mayo Bowl is in there. You get to see your guy get dumped in mayo. That'd be very awesome as well. It just all looks great. It's going to be amazing. I'm stunned how well they've actually pulled this off so far.
Yeah,
it looks really good.
Well, yeah, let's talk about the gameplay real quick. I know we've talked about it before. We were both nervous that it was going to be Madden.
Yeah, I was. I was very nervous.
I think we're well past that now.
Yeah,
it looks different enough.
It looks much more. It looks less copy paste than Madden has become.
Yeah,
right. It looks like they really truly had 3 years to figure this out, make something that's for college football by itself and not anything else.
The crowd reacts if you watch the crowd. React to a sweep where he gets into the backfield. Passes the secondary. The crowd gets up on their feet.
Yeah, they react.
It's really cool. Looks fantastic.
They have.
I'm gonna play.
They have some cool, unique crowd-specific chance for each team. But they also have like Mo Bamba's.
Mo Bamba?
I can't remember the name of the song. But they play at Penn State. Yeah, but Mobamba version at Penn State, whiteout, very popular clip when they played Michigan. They were playing the song, got to delay a game. Everybody was pumped. They put that in the game.
Around
very cool.
in Wisconsin.
I don't know if Jump Around is in there.
That'd be great.
They didn't have
after the third quarter.
They didn't have the Metallica song either. Enter Sandman for Virginia Tech. That made me sad. But Metallica's also very expensive. They used
to do Sandstorm. That was
South Carolina. I think they do have that. That's in the game.
That's so
they got
good.
Darude Sandstorm
with the towels.
Yeah, that's in the game. That's in the game because they got Sandstorm.
That jacks me up.
But they couldn't get Enter Sandman because Lars said, "I will sue you," and then continue to play bad drums.
I was there for Napster. He was not happy.
We're not. If you can't tell, we're not big fans of Lars here.
I am. I like Metallica.
Really? I mean, I like Metallica. I think Lars is very overrated, though. He's kind of not very good at what he does. But hey, Lars, don't sue us.
Yeah.
We will win.
Loser.
Okay, so yeah, that's EA Sports College Football. Comes out in 13 days, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have a full comprehensive review when it comes out. I will talk about everything in that video game. Every single thing.
I'm going to play the crap out of that. I'm going
to play...
That is my so I've been saying my most anticipated game was Hellblade.
No. Well,
yes.
And Valorant, though.
Well,
now.
I didn't know Valorant was going to come out until 2 days before it came out.
Yeah.
And college football. And Hellblade fell right on its face, which I should talk about one of the games we were playing.
Oh, yeah, because you beat it.
I beat it.
Finally. Yeah, that's right. So we'll add that to the list.
Yeah.
But yeah, EA Sports College Football is coming.
I'm excited.
You love it. I love it. It looks amazing. EA really pulled it off. I could not believe it.
This guy's high on
actually,
EA right now.
Let's wait and see it. It's not out yet.
I'm not so high. When they were the last couple of years, I felt like EA has been doing better as a publisher. They're not killing their games and their developers like they used to. But that's been more Microsoft. They start to go up, they do something dumb.
They hit plateau and then they steep dive downward.
Yeah. I was really excited for say that game, Immortals of Avium. I was like, wow, you're putting money behind a brand new IP with all this stuff, and then once it released, like they were just like, bye, see ya.
That's what they said for Anthem too.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're putting money behind a new IP.
Except for Anthem was developed by legendary developers, BioWare, and they were like, here, make a third-person action adventure game.
Is it really
action shooter? Sorry,
we really have to look at it as the ship of Theseus when it comes to BioWare. Is it really BioWare anymore if none of the people that were part of Mass Effect?
No, not anymore. But I mean, before Anthem, I think.
No, because I don't think any of the guys that were originally part of the original trilogy for Mass Effect did. No. What's the really bad Mass Effect game that nobody remembers?
Oh, Andromeda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was part of that.
Did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So, you know what's funny is, and I don't think I've ever heard anybody tell me what the ending of Andromeda is, because I don't think anybody beat it, because that game was terrible.
Oh my God.
What a sad day for games that was.
I still get right in the feels when I think about BioWare.
Right, because they're dead?
Yeah. Same with Rare as well, with Microsoft.
Rare is definitely dead. The only Rare game that I really liked, though, was Conquer. That was my favorite Rare game.
Yeah, but you weren't my age where you like grew up on Battletoads and RC Pro-Am and
Banjo, right? Wasn't Banjo?
007, GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, yeah.
Perfect Dark.
Oh, yeah, Perfect Dark was Rare. I forgot about that.
I mean, so many. There's so many.
Yeah. Fingerprints on everything.
Killer Instinct.
It's rare to find a game that Rare wasn't part of.
Back in the day, yeah.
Get it?
Same with it was Capcom, Konami, Rare, a few others.
But it all just rotates, you know? Rare's gone now, but now we got FromSoft. FromSoft wasn't doing stuff back then, you know? That's
Nintendo.
just how it works. Nintendo's been doing stuff since I was in the womb.
Nintendo's like, I got this.
Yeah, we'll just stay around forever.
So, hey, FromSoft, do that for 30 more years.
Yeah, true. And we still won't figure out how internet works. Because that's what we do here at Nintendo.
Yeah. So you want to talk about notable games releasing this week? Notable games releasing this week.
We got Final Fantasy XIV.
That's 14.
14, thank you. Online.
Yeah.
Dawn Trail.
It's their big expansion pack.
Okay, there you go. You're going to have to explain that to me because I have no idea.
There is one massive MMO RPG. Massive multiplayer online RPG.
Yeah, that was like
role-playing game.
That was like ATV machine.
There's how many? 2
MMOs
that are as good as
I would say
Final Fantasy. There's World of War.
Okay.
World of Warcraft. World at War.
Yeah, World of Warcraft.
And Final Fantasy. And I mean, can you call Destiny?
I was gonna say Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, I was gonna say ESO.
Yeah, probably. Maybe a couple more.
Probably a couple more. But those are big three, I would say, for sure.
Final Fantasy 14 has been going for a long time, and everybody loves it. I tried it. Nah, I'm not an MMO guy. I'm just not.
Do you not like WoW?
Sorry, Garrett.
Do you not
I wanted to play this game with you.
Do you not enjoy WoW?
No, I mean, I never played it, but I wouldn't.
Oh, you've never played WoW? Okay. I haven't played WoW either because I don't own a PC. But that's interesting. Don't like WoW, don't like Red Dead Redemption 2. Get them, ladies and gentlemen.
Final Fantasy 14 is notorious for releasing very bad, and then a year later they redid themselves. And
well, they're perfect then. That fits in perfectly.
And yeah, exactly. And now everybody loves it. So, and it's on console. Shoot, I mean, that thing came out for PS3, I believe.
I don't even know what. Can I be honest with you? Don't know what this is. I've never heard of Final Fantasy 14 online.
What?
Until this second. Actually, that's not fair. Maybe I've heard of it, but I've never like given it a thought.
With the bunny ears from Evalis?
Yeah, no, that was Stellar Blade.
Tactics. Pretty much.
That's from Stellar Blade.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I've never.
That's coming out. If you like Dawn Trail, or if you like those DLCs, they're usually massive.
Right.
So you're gonna like that.
I would like it if his name was actual. If the character's name that you're playing as, whoever it is, or the main protagonist
you make your name.
I know, but I'm saying like the
Timberlake.
protagonist in the DLC or the antagonist.
Yeah, antagonist.
And his name was Dawn Trail. It was just a way to say Dawn Trail. It's Dawn Trail.
Yeah,
that'd be really
worst
stupid.
Joke I've ever heard in my life.
Hey, the First Descendant's also coming out. This is a big Chinese game that they're really pushing to everybody. Nexon Mobile, big gas manufacturers. They're also making a video game.
This game looks fantastic, by the way.
I've heard good things from the previews of people are saying.
It came out last night at midnight, and I was able to download it, but didn't really get my hands on it. I fell asleep.
You know what? Not this one necessarily, but Destiny-like game.
Yeah, this is a third-person Destiny-like
right.
game.
And you know what game this is kind of giving me the vibe of? Not third-person.
What?
I just forgot the name of it.
Good job.
Hey, welcome to the show. Hey, this is what we do here at Active Reload.
We sniff glue.
Go subscribe. Go subscribe to the Active Reload channel. What's the name of the stupid game, the first-person shooter that died almost immediately on impact, no pun intended, because you're going to a different planet, you're leaving Earth, you're landing on a different planet, and you're trying to settle on a new planet, and then you get cryo-sleeped, and then you wake up 15 years later, and it's like a huge war going on.
What?
I almost said it's not Descendants. It's wow, this is gonna bother me.
I know what you're talking about. They made a TV show out of it too. That one?
TV show.
Yeah.
If they made a TV show, I might watch it because I actually like the plot to the video game, but the game's terrible.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna look it up.
Dude,
I'm looking it up.
I thought you were just having like some sort of weird hallucination.
No seizure. I'm okay. I'm looking it up first though.
Okay.
Let's keep going though.
Let me talk about the First Descendant.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry, go ahead.
This is a game that looks like it was made. The art stuff is made with AI, but it probably wasn't. It does have a very typical Eastern developer flair. You know what I mean? Very much like
Eastern, so like
an Asian flair.
Oh, okay.
Not an Asian flair, not culturally Asian, but like the way they've been publishing video games. You know what I'm saying? They all kind of look like long, flowy hair, kind of anime aesthetic, but not quite anime, more realistic. I don't know. It's I like that art style, and this looks like that same art style, though it's a little too much of it. We talked about during Games Fest how many of these games look the exact same. I looked at some gameplay. The AI looks not very good. Right. Like the actual enemy AI, not what they probably use to develop this game.
It's China, so yeah, more than likely.
Nexon is a big publisher for mobile games, but they're starting to do a lot more console games and PC games.
They're also big in the oil industry.
No, not 2 X's.
And not an N.
1 X.
Nexon, next off.
Yeah, good job.
Outriders.
Outriders?
That game was so bad. But
that game, you didn't describe that game.
Yeah, it is. You land on a planet. You evacuate from Earth. You leave everybody behind on Earth. You land on a planet. I can't remember the name of the planet, but you're supposed to habituate. That's not the right word. Habitate, whatever, this planet. and then as you're doing it, there's a big storm, I guess is what they'll call it in that game, and then you get cryo slept. They put you in the cryo sleep. You wake up 15 years later.
Okay.
And then there's a big war going on.
I never got to the cryo sleep part.
That's like the very beginning of the video game. It's not good, but the story in itself, I think, is actually pretty cool.
I love that game's story, not the story, but the arc of that game's development and like success was all on Game Pass, because Game Pass was really starting to get kicked in.
It was a day one.
And it was a day one Game Pass game, and everybody started playing it, and so and it came out for PlayStation as well, right?
Yeah.
So all these PlayStation owners were, well, I'm going to buy that game, so they bought it. It's not that bad.
It's okay.
It's a very mediocre game.
Yeah.
It's totally serviceable.
It was supposed to be, but that's the thing, it was competing against a bunch of other live service, Destiny-like. There was no shot for it to live much longer than it did. Yeah. And I mean, it's still got a community, but it's a small community, but there's still people that play.
I want to go back to when I said Asian flair. Do you know what I'm talking about when I'm
Asian flair?
That the way that Nexon games look.
Like Yakuza.
No.
Like that sort of video game. I'm thinking when you say
almost like Valorant.
Oh, okay. So
but Valorant's
cartoony?
More cleaner. Like a cartoony anime / human-like.
Gotcha.
Big proportions, though.
I was thinking
big proportions.
When you said Asian flair, I thought you meant like Yakuza, where like it's the streets of Japan and it feels like that.
Where it feels like Japan. No, not like that. Where it's like it's a fantasy.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I think Wukong.
That's more hyper realistic Asian flair, though.
Yeah, but that's like it looks like. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, I see what you mean then.
But there's a lot of new games. Yeah, like Wukong. Except for that game hasn't came out yet. There's been a bunch of them that are coming out.
It'll be here soon, though.
And speaking of that game looks so good.
It looks really good.
But from what I'm hearing, it's very hard, and now I'm not going to play it.
It's hard?
Yeah.
No! I'm excited to play it. I want to play it. It looks awesome.
It does.
It's the Monkey King.
It's a
I want to do
Journey
it.
to the West. If you want to play another game that's based on
Monkey King,
Journey to the West, play Enslaved Odyssey to the West, made by Ninja Theory. The guys who do Hellblade.
That's hard too. That's Ninja Theory.
No, it's not hard.
Oh.
Not Team Ninja. Ninja Theory. Hellblade people.
Dude, what is it with these game developers making too many names
that
are just the
memory.
same thing, dude?
That's why I'm
Konami, Capcom, same thing.
Not even close.
But Wukong, yeah, and then in the First Descendant, you're gonna play it, I'm assuming.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely play that game.
Is it on Xbox as well, or is it both PlayStation and Xbox? Okay,
both.
Cool. I mean, hey, we'll see.
Yeah.
Nexon, maybe they'll give up their oil business and get into video games.
Looks like a Wukong style game.
It's a shooter though.
Free to play. Shooter. You would look at this game and you're like, why would this game be free to play?
Right.
But there's markets all over the world for this, so.
And it's made in China, so it was made for like $14.
What are you saying?
Because that's what they were paying their employees, which were all computers.
It's just engineers. All right.
They're computer engineers, literally. All right, Ace Combat 7.
This is a really cool game. It's finally coming to the Switch, and so I think
it's coming to the Switch.
Yeah, our listeners, Sheridan Media, I think a lot of Nintendo fans, I believe.
What?
Yeah,
you think so?
Yeah.
Shout out in the comments if you're a Nintendo fan, which you probably are. And I'm not a Nintendo hater, but I saw what they did to Mortal Kombat X. When they put it on
Switch.
At
least they brought it to Switch.
Yeah, but there's no way Ace Combat 7 is going to run like that.
First of all, Nintendo didn't do that. Midway did that. Not Midway. They're called something. NetherRealm.
They're working with the hardware that they are given.
Yeah,
which is Nintendo's. I don't know how to connect to the internet.
Because Nintendo buyers, Nintendo owners of Switch, their attachment rate to their games are insane.
Yeah, you're right.
You guys are insane.
You're right. But that's why nothing else should go on there. Just leave them there, first persons.
I think
or first parties.
This game, Ace Combat 7, Skies Unknown. Deluxe edition, which will come with like the Maverick, the Top Gun Maverick DLC and stuff like that.
That's sick. I'm in.
Yeah,
but not on Switch.
This game is fantastic.
I haven't played any of the Ace Combat games.
Oh my god.
Break it down for me.
Ace Combat games, they go all the way back from PS1.
Yeah.
I love all of them. I've played all of them. Speaking where I'm going to talk about one in a second when I talk about my emulators review.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we got emulators on iPhone now.
Yeah. The Ace Combat was one of the first games I downloaded. Is Ace Combat Electrosphere.
Oh, okay.
3 and PS1.
That's an older game then.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you'd download like
these games are really, really good. There are no flight sim / arcade. It's not quite a sim.
They all died, and it makes me really sad because there used to be some pretty good ones, and they're all dead. Yeah. It makes me so sad.
What was the one that you said earlier?
Blazing Angels. Oh man, that one was. That one's not really a sim. It's more of an arcade pilot shooter.
Yeah.
And those games are all dead now. They've all died.
Ace Combat is like that. A little bit more realistic because the planes they use are realistic, but it's always in a fictional world or country, and there's always great stories and great dialogue and characters. It's just very Japanese influence.
Speaking of Asian flair.
Western style Top Gun stuff, basically.
Airplanes and
oorahs. Yeah.
Like that sort of stuff.
Really cool. Ace Combat 7, the graphics are fantastic, but it does run pretty well on the base Xbox One and PS4, so it'll be fine on Switch.
Where should I start if I want to play these games? Because I've seen this game so many times.
Start with Ace Combat 7. You don't need to. There's no through line through any of these games.
Oh, really? They're all unique?
Now, some of the countries that are involved, there is a world that is shared through all of them.
Right.
But you don't need to know any of them.
It's like James Bond's main villain in all the Bond movies.
Yeah.
His name Spectre, but they're not necessarily connected very much except for in the recent games or movies. But that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm in.
7.
You know
very
what?
Good.
Very good. I'm talking to developers out there, and we're on Sheridan Media. So if you're a developer out there, listen up. We need more airplane combat games. I'm tired of just not having them.
What was the one on Xbox?
Blazing Angels.
No.
Oh.
That was great. But
those games are awesome.
The other one, it's on backwards compatible.
Oh, dude. IL-2 Sturmovik. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, that one's too cool, too.
Yeah, that's
very realistic.
Speaking of a bad name, too, by the way. Battle Stations Midway.
Crimson Skies.
Oh, that game's awesome.
Yeah.
That game is awesome in a world where cars don't really mean anything and everything is traveled by planes.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's really stupid, but it's so cool. You go to an Old West level.
Island.
Yeah, and then it's an Old West level. You go into the Midwest. It's like the Wild Wild West movie with Will Smith, but instead of big machines, it's just airplanes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very good.
Crimson Skies is sick. That's one of the cooler games.
Also,
Battle Stations Midway. Battle Stations Pacific.
Yeah.
All dead. Yeah. What happened to our air combat
They had
games?
terrible stories, unlike Ace Combat.
You're right about that. Except for Crimson Skies. Crimson Skies is cool.
My advice for people who jump into this game, you're going to feel like it's a little too story heavy. Just ride with it for a little bit. It's good. You'll get to it.
Are they trying to do...
Because there's multiple POVs. So you'll be like, someone will be talking, and then it'll go into like a war room, and then it'll go into the actual game, and there's 3 different POVs that you're playing as.
Okay.
Just ride with it, and you'll get it. It's really good.
Are they trying to do a Top Gun type of thing?
No,
you're the
it's
cool
almost
pilot?
like Inception. Not Inception. Who's the guy
Inception.
who does Inception?
Whoa. I'd like that idea, though.
Who's the guy that does that?
Christopher Nolan? Oh,
it's
Dunkirk.
Like a Christopher Nolan movie.
So like a Dunkirk version.
Yes, exactly like a Dunkirk.
Gotcha.
Except for you only play as one guy, a guy who went to jail, and you play as a jail guy. But the story is being told by a girl who was in the jail with him, but she's part of something else. And then the war room is told by the people you're working for.
So it sounds like
hard to get into it, but just do it.
It sounds like it's told closer to like Metal Gear Solid.
No.
Okay. All right.
It's not that convoluted.
I like the idea of you going to jail and they're like, we're going to put this guy in a plane.
Yeah, it's true.
With ultimate power.
Yeah. They're these so guys. That's the plot. You go to jail for war crimes, something that you didn't do. Something you didn't do. And the country that you're fighting for puts you in jail, and the country that you're fighting for is losing, and so they need all the pilots they can get.
Like Marcus Phoenix. You're Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah, you are. You are
awesome.
Pretty much Marcus Phoenix.
Cool. I'm in. Ace Combat. I'm back in. And then also, once I beat this, make Crimson Skies 2, please. Yeah. That game is awesome. Or remaster it. And then make Blazing Angels 3.
Can I do my emulators review for iPhone?
Yeah, games we're playing now.
I went on vacation to Mexico, and I downloaded a lot of these emulators that are now available for iPhone. One of them was Delta, which mostly does Nintendo games, and now I'm talking about every Nintendo game from Nintendo, the NES, to the DS.
Oh, okay.
And even the 3DS, but I didn't want to run the 3DS on my phone. I think my phone's not powerful enough.
We should try it on the 15, by the way.
It does work really well.
Yeah.
This Delta app, it works really well. It's very, very easy to get emulator or to get your ROMs to run on there. You don't need to unzip them either, unless they're DS games. And when I say unzipped, you know what I mean by unzipped?
Like files. You're unzipping files.
They're giant files. Sometimes they need to be unzipped. But this
emulator
will unzip it for you. You just drag and drop with your finger. I didn't do anything on my computer. I did it all on my phone. I have files. Man. I have a lot of ROMs that I got legally.
What are ROMs, by the way? What does that mean?
ROM is a a rip of a game.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
From a CD-ROM or whatever.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the Delta works really good. And then I also got PPSSPP, which is a PSP emulator, which is a famous PSP emulator.
Man.
Been around for a long time. It's finally on iPhone. All these emulators are free.
That's right up your alley.
And I was playing Gran Turismo PSP on my phone with a backbone. And these work real. I use a backbone. Don't use a touch screen for a joystick.
Use the controller.
Use any type of controller, your Xbox controller, anything. And,
they work with the emulators?
Yeah, you can actually
awesome.
get. Yeah, all these emulators work with these controllers too, which is really good right off the bat. And these are brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Good job. Good job.
Shout out Apple. Finally,
Apple. Finally.
Only 10 years late.
Maybe even longer than that.
Yeah, shout out Apple. Good job. You did it.
I was more than happy with them. All right,
we could try them on the 15, but I have the 15. I should download some and see if they like run better or something like that. Because that was the one that was advertised as like, hey, this is the gaming phone or whatever.
Yeah, you could probably get a PS2 emulator running on that thing.
You think so?
Yeah.
And then my battery will die in 30 minutes?
Yep.
Awesome.
When I was running the PSP, my battery was dying quickly.
Really?
I have an old phone, though.
I can't imagine. Okay.
These also up-res these games, by the way. The 3D games, like the DS and the PSP.
Oh, that's cool.
Up-res.
Okay.
Really good.
That's very good. I might try that, because there might be some good emulated games that I never played because I didn't have like a PS1 or
Did you have an
DS.
N64? I got some N64 games, and they're fine.
How old am I? I was
27.
The N64 came out when 26. I was born.
Okay. Man, you're annoying, you young person.
Sorry. Missed out on that one.
I'm glad it's not just me being old talking about it. I remember.
It's okay to be the old guy.
Sadly, there was another emulator that I can't remember what it's called.
It's Xbox.
And I wanted to run MAME, which is arcade emulation.
Oh.
And I couldn't get it working. So
these are all sound like very dangerous downloads, but they're just emulated. Like PPS, what was it?
PPSSPP.
That sounds like something you download as like a prank from somebody, and then it crashes your phone forever.
No, these guys are great.
All right.
The Delta guys, man, whoever designed that app, it's a fantastic app. Fantastic. I've never even had an emulator run as smooth off the bat before.
Cool. Shout out Delta.
I've never applauded an emulator maker in my life.
Shout out to the emulator makers, Delta.
Good job, Delta.
You're Delta Squad, just like Gears.
All right. Isanzo. That's what you're playing?
Yeah, that's one of the games I'm playing. Isanzo. It's sick. It's a World War I game. Grant's talked about it a little bit on the show. It's a World War I first-person shooter. It's slow, but it's fun slow.
See, you think it's slow? I think it's fast. I guess I'm used to Verdun and Tannenberg. And
I'm thinking like Battlefield. Comparatively, it's a lot slower than Battlefield.
Yeah. Would you say it's slower than Insurgency? I
think that's a equitable comparison.
Okay.
I think they're both probably about even in terms of speed.
You spawn, like, what, 10 seconds is the spawn?
Yeah. Sometimes. But I also mean, like, just the gameplay, because you're having to cock every time. Well, depending on the gun you're using, you're having charge your gun every single time. The reloads take a while, that sort of thing. So that's what I mean by slow. Not necessarily like the spawning in and whatnot.
I got you.
So,
okay. But you're still
slower paced.
You definitely get right in the action.
Oh yeah, no, you're not like, the biggest problem that I have with something like Hell Let Loose, which is another one that's kind of compared to this, is if you're spawning in the wrong place, you're running forever. And thankfully in this game it's not really that long. Even if you're spawning in like the furthest back spawn point, you still get kills.
The variation of maps in this game are fantastic.
Really cool map design. It feels like you're in the trenches of the Italian front.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's really cool. It's really well done.
Verdun and Tannenberg. Well, Verdun is the western front. Tannenberg is the eastern front. And Italian front is Isanzo.
The middle front, the central front, technically.
And
if you want to look at it that way,
I think Verdun is very good. If you should try Verdun as well.
I'll do that. I didn't realize they were made by the same people.
Series X. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, I like it a lot. Isanzo is. I'd recommend it to if you're somebody that likes, I would say, Battlefield. It is slower than like any of the recent Battlefields, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
But like if you liked Battlefield 1 a lot, and you're like, yeah, maybe I want to play another World War I game, Isanzo is what that is. It's great. It's awesome.
There's a lot of detail in that game that you probably aren't going to notice unless. So if you jump in a game and you're losing really bad, you probably need a couple of veterans that are going to know how to, what is it called?
Officer?
Air raid.
Yeah, people that play officers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you need to reconnaissance. The battlefield, that's a plane will fly over, and then it'll mark.
You're spotting flares and stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's all this cool stuff that you need to do. If you were just running and gunning and you're playing Rifleman over and over again, you're gonna lose.
That's me. But
it's not as hardcore as Hell Let Loose.
No, that's
Hell
the
Let Loose
thing.
is a mill sim.
Yeah.
World War II game.
You need a radio operator. You need a commander. In order for your radio operator to work, you need like a forward operating base and stuff. That's
Hell Let Loose.
I like Hell Let Loose, but it's a little much. Like one game in Hell Let Loose, I'm like, all right, I've had my fix.
I played Asanzo for a long time. It was my brother-in-law was over, and I was playing Valorant, like I've been playing constantly.
Like the loser you are. Sorry.
I was like, let's play some World War I games. And so his son, my nephew, played, and we had a great clip.
You're killing it.
And he's young, but he's not too young. And he got on a killing spree, and the last kill shot someone's knee and blew off his knee. And the guy fell down a crevice, like off a cliff. And he goes, ah! Like, who's screaming? There's a lot of agony being screamed in this game.
His nephew's 8, by the way. I'm just kidding.
It's a 10.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds so cool. I like it. The only thing I will say that I don't love, and that's something that I think they need to put in there, it's the year 2024, and the fact that I have to enter a game and then invite people to the game is crazy.
What do you mean?
You can't have like in-lobby or pre-lobby created parties like Battlefield does.
Oh.
You have to join the game and then invite your friend in order to play with them. It's 2024.
I've never played with a friend in that game.
Sorry, buddy. But it's 2024, Asanzo people. I don't know who develops it. I'm sorry, I forgot. Let's figure that out. All right. What are we doing? What do we do? Every other multiplayer game does that on planet Earth.
Forget. Anyways,
crazy.
The game's great.
But yeah, it's really cool. I like it a lot.
It was one of my games of the year last year. I didn't come out last year, but I played it a lot last year.
I'm gonna continue playing. It's very cool, and then I'm gonna play Verdun to see the differences.
Yeah, you'll like Verdun. You'll like Verdun. Very good.
All right.
Very slower, but
even slower than a song.
No, I mean, same pacing, but it's harder.
It makes more sense for that to be slower though, because it's literally a battle of attrition.
Yeah,
you move an inch at a time.
The game mode is called attrition too.
There you go. So yeah, Sanzo. I've also played. And Mr. Grant's gonna be very happy about this. Prey.
Yeah.
Not the Xbox One version.
The OG
360 version. It's awesome. You start as you're a Native American man on a reservation. You have a girlfriend, smoking hot, obviously, and you are in a bar. That's how the game starts.
Dad. You have your dad too.
You have your grandfather. Your grandfather. And one of the first things you'll notice about this game, Prey, there's a lot of detail in just this little bathroom that you start in. You could fill up the sink, and the water comes up, and then it drains like a normal sink. Yeah. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life, and it was made 15 years ago. Yeah. And then you can press the air dryer over and over again and just keep pressing it. You can flood the urinals.
Those types of games, like awesome. So. I mean, this game it runs off the Doom 3 engine, whatever.
It feels like it, yeah.
id Tech 3, I think, and those games like Doom, Duke Nukem, like what it's kind of based off of. They would have things like you can flush a toilet, it goes down, shoot a toilet, water comes up, do all this stuff.
It's really cool.
There's a lot of licensed music in this game too.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say. The music's really good. For those that don't know, Prey,
first-person shooter.
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter. It's an alien abduction game, so you get abducted. The whole bar gets abducted by an alien spacecraft, and your girlfriend gets abducted, so you have to go and try to find your girlfriend the whole game, essentially. And that's basically the premise of the video game.
You gotta
until you get towards the end. Yeah, you got to save everybody. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I'm surprised that...
Good AI for enemies.
Yeah, pretty solid.
I mean, they shoot and they hide.
Yeah.
But it's fun and it's engaging, I should say.
Yeah. I will say some of the things I don't love. I think it's definitely one of those games where you have to really follow where the enemies are coming from in order to know where you're going. Because there are times where, like, if you go around a certain corner, you can get lost. You just get completely lost. I remember a couple times where I was like, I have no idea what to do next because I have no idea where I am. There's no arrow pointing you in the right direction.
There's a game mechanic where you phase in and out. And so if you phase into...
Portal before Portal.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about actual phasing into like the spirit realm.
Right.
So you can go to the spirit realm to like solve different puzzles to get access to different areas of the level. And every time you die, you go to spirit realm, you shoot a bunch of these weird things.
Lost spirits is what they call them.
You get your energy back.
Yeah.
Jump right back in.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
There is now the portal thing is the really cool stuff.
Yeah. They have portals before Portal. Before Portal came out.
You don't control the portals, they're just in the ship.
But it's interesting, like it's pretty similar to what Portal did, like in look and everything like that. It's an oval.
Scale.
Yeah, it's an oval. It's orange, and you're walking through it in your whole different area. It's very interesting, and it's pretty crazy that this came out before that. Before
sometimes
Portal.
you are in a battle and like something will be knocked over, and you're trying to find where you go, and you look into this box, and there's a portal in there, and you go into the box, and all of a sudden you're into
a whole new area,
gigantic open area.
Yeah. It's
and
really
then
cool.
You get out of it, and you can actually see the battle still taking place.
Yeah, you can look back through
back
it.
in. It's really cool.
I can't imagine especially that running on the 360 must have just cooked.
I think it was a launch game.
That's crazy.
It was close to launch, at least.
The first game I played on Xbox 360 was the outfit, and I wish I would have got Prey because that game's sick.
Prey was definitely one of my first games.
That game's awesome. Prey is sick. I wish I would have played it a lot earlier. It's better than the new Prey.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, all right. I haven't played the whole Prey.
I'm a big fan of kinetic Doom-like shooters, so.
Well, and it's fun. It's a fun game to play too.
It also kind of came out after Doom 3, and then after Quake 4, and then there's Prey, and they kind of look the same.
Yeah. Well, if they have that Doom 3 engine like you were talking about, they all kind of look like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of they give off the same thing. Yeah.
Almost like action figure-y, plasticky, shiny, wet.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Very action figure-y. But yeah, it's cool. It's a fun game. Everybody should play it. Everybody should play that game.
It's
awesome.
Great lighting.
Great lighting too.
Some good horror elements.
Yeah. There's some creepy
stuff.
Kids die in the first 15 minutes of the game. I'm like, this is game of the year.
Yeah.
This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. They get killed by ghosts.
Yeah.
Insane. Absolutely bonkers video game. But it's cool. I love it. I wish they would have made that and like remastered it or made it into a new thing when
Microsoft owns the property now, so bring it back.
Bring back Prey and then Crimson Skies. I've also started Stalker. Awesome. Lots of fun. It's very interesting. It's a lot like Escape from Tarkov. I'm just kidding.
Jeez.
No kidding. Fun game. Interesting. I'm kind of curious to see where it goes because it doesn't feel like there's there is a main quest, but it doesn't feel like they are really pointing you in the direction of you have to follow this main quest to progress, There's just sections of the area that you can explore on your own and get upgraded like crazy and then move on to the quest, essentially. It's pretty cool. I like it so far. I'm curious, and I'm just seeing I'm trying to see where it really kicks in, and it feels like a bigger game, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that ends up. I gave up on Kingdom Come Deliverance. Peace out. Sorry, Kingdom Come.
Such a good game.
I can't do it. Okay. Speaking of slow, if Asanzo's slow, this game is.
Asanzo's not slow.
This game is closer to sloth mode. Okay. It is so slow. It doesn't feel great for me, anyways. When I'm playing it, it feels like everything that I'm pressing takes forever to actually happen.
Yeah.
I've got pretty far in it as well. I got to.
You at least met your friend that you go hunting.
Yeah, I'm past. I got way past that. I got to a point where you're fighting the guy that stole your sword for the first time.
Yeah,
in like the church tower or whatever.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, I feel so out leveled that I feel like I missed something. And then I died, and I had to. And it was one of those things where it didn't save in time.
It's definitely a PC game.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. It's just not for me. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 looks sick.
Yeah,
and I might end up playing that, to be honest with you. But one, maybe just not for me. So there's that. And then Battlefield 5, Burnout Revenge, just for,
I like Burnout Revenge. I was also playing Burnout Revenge.
Burnout Revenge is sick. Everybody should play Burnout Revenge.
Really, awesome. Really, really, really good hook to that game.
Yeah.
Like just the racing part.
Break things. Crash people.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Take them out.
Yeah. And you get points for it.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's awesome. Sick game.
All right. So I want to talk. I don't have much time, but
go nuts. We'll fit it in. You're fine.
Hellblade 2, did I finish it?
Yeah. Average to good at best.
I'm not so disappointed in this game. I think Hellblade 1 is a very good game. And the things that Hellblade 2 were supposed to do better, they actually did in terms of the combat and the puzzles, I think are better. It's just put together, not as good. The graphics are fantastic. Yeah. It's definitely a game where I want to show up. If I have a friend that comes over and he says, give me the state-of-the-art graphics in a video game, I'll show him this game for sure. But the story's not nearly as good. The characters suck. Practically really, really bad characters.
Part of me wonders if they're made up, because I can't tell.
Yeah, the Senua's journey is questionable.
Yeah. Less compelling for sure.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that is haunting her doesn't make sense. What is her drive? She just wants to save people?
Yeah, she wants to free the slaves, which, you know what, very noble. But then why did you get captured and become a slave in the first place?
It's just weird. The motivations for the character, I think Senua is one of the greatest video game characters ever written.
Oh, yeah. I'll agree with that.
But she's had her journey. And so if you're gonna go back to the well with the same character having the same problems after she beat the darkness, That was the big thing. And now she's dealing with it again, and you're like, what's happening?
Yeah, that's the big thing with how the first one ended. It felt like a very, very much a beginning and an end.
Yeah.
There did not need to be anything after it, and it felt like Microsoft came to the people that do Hellblade and were like, hey, we want another one of these.
I think they should have just had a different character altogether.
Agreed.
And you can still do a character that has split personality too.
Schizophrenia. Yeah.
So you just don't need Senua. Just move on.
Yeah. Her story should be done.
Yeah. That's the biggest problem with that game was Senua herself and her motivations and all that stuff.
Yeah, it just wasn't as fleshed out.
There was a slog, that underground level where you have to find the old people.
It's awful.
Wow.
It's not great.
Everything in Hellblade 1, all the environments you go through, there's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 sections.
Yeah.
The section where you get Sigurd's sword, where you have to go through the 3 quests or whatever, where you have to go to the layer of the blind cave and stuff like that. Very scary. This one you could tell this was trying to do the same thing, but it was just overstayed its welcome for way too long.
Agreed.
Wow. I really had to force myself to beat that. And all the boss fights were practically the same.
Yep, all the same thing.
Which sucks because Hellblade 1, the 3 boss fights are radically different from each other.
Very unique. And how you beat the bosses, too, are very unique. But in this one, it's a lot of the same.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed, but I beat it.
It's still, that's the thing. It's still technically a very good game.
Yeah.
Looks, sound design, obviously. Some of the combat systems are still very good as well.
I like the combat.
You like the combat system. I thought it gets a little bit repetitive, but it is very unique, I guess, is what I would say. It's cinematic, is what I would say. So technically, it's still very well fleshed out, good game. Just the parts that really sold me in the first game were not nearly as well put together in the second game. So
sucks too because
we'll see what they do next.
I really wanted to see what they did next.
Hellblade 3.
Now I'm playing Valorant on console. Man, I put 2 full days in this game already.
Yeah, you need to see a doctor.
2.5, I think.
You go see a doctor. You're crazy.
There's nothing on console remotely close to the competitive nature of this game. I love it so much. They've updated it. The problems I had with before, I think the aim assist was way too high. Still think it might be a little bit too high, but they've kind of honed it in where people are actually missing shots now, finally. I just think the diversity in gameplay, and when I say that, I mean, this game is comparable to Counter-Strike. So in Counter-Strike, you have entry fraggers, people who throw the utility and jump in and get a kill or 2 and then die. Then you have a sniper, an opper, guy who hangs back and he's the designated opper. And then you have anchors, people who are in between those guys. And then you have your own strategy. It's 5v5 to plant or defend. That's it. And this game is the same thing, except for the entry fraggers are actually characters. They're called something. They're called sentinels or something like that.
They're given classes
names.
Or whatever,
And the diversity of the way you can play these type of entry fraggers are very, very different. Some characters, you can just do things that nobody is doing in that game. It's just the skill ceiling is not as high as Counter-Strike. It's up there for sure, but it's wider than Counter-Strike. If you get my drift, there's many ways to go about doing things. I think there's nothing like this on console.
I think that's what you get when you get a hero shooter, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. If this game was out, if you didn't have, let me start over. If you didn't have the hero abilities, which are basically, utility in Counter-Strike, and you had basic flashes, basic grenades, basic speed bursts or whatever you're doing, then it would just be Counter-Strike. It would be Counter-Strike light. It would be very Counter-Strike, but not as good. But since everybody has these unique abilities, you can do your game, your strategy, very different from another team. I played against teams that did stuff that I've never seen in this game before, and I've played a lot of this game on PC as well.
I'm curious if this is where the next step in like hero shooter versions are, where they take more of a step back and
I hope so.
Change it to that type of hero version of a shooter.
I don't know.
Probably not.
I think there's two ways you can go about it. Like you can go about it the Valorant way, but Valorant does it better.
Right. True.
Or you can go about it the new Marvel game. Where it's
true.
Like hero abilities are very much like a Marvel superhero.
I think that one also thrives on
environment and
and also being able to recognize, I'm playing as Star-Lord. Yeah. That's really cool, and I'm using all of his abilities to do things. Right. I'm playing as Drax. I'm playing as whatever. Yeah.
If you play as Storm, you're like, I'm going to be a Storm person.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to run out there and go toe to toe with somebody.
We need a boys game. The boys. I want the boys game. Please give it to me. That would be awesome. Next, what do you got else? Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh, yeah. I was playing with my son. I just like that game.
That game's awesome. Not a better comedy shooter than that if you're looking to play something seriously, but it's still funny.
Odin doesn't like that much. My wife, Melody, shout out Melody.
Shout out Melody.
Like, what kind of game is he playing? What are you playing? Like, he's shooting realistic people. And I was
and then you put him in Sanzo.
but look how good he's doing. He's doing so well. Like he flipped on his night vision goggles. He was crawling. He was doing the hardest mission in the game, which is the Sam Fisher
one. Yeah, that one's good.
Mission, and he like did pretty well on it. And he kept having to reload it. And I'm like, dude, I was like, Odin, you're not going to beat this mission. This is very hard. But he was trying, and I was like, dude, you can't shoot. You can't kill anybody. You have to just sneak throughout the whole thing. And he tried.
Do you do
He was doing really good.
I can't remember. In the Sam Fisher mission, can you do the thing where you leap up and you do the splits on the wall?
No, none of that.
Dang it!
Very basic crawl Ghost Recon. Style.
They didn't put anything new in there.
No, the only real Ghost Recon new feeling game was the Advanced Warfighter.
Yeah, that one kind of underrated, to be honest with you.
Very underrated.
Very, very cool game.
Yeah,
I wish you could see the Predator mission. That mission was so cool.
I did play that when it came out. Yeah, I played
awesome. It. So cool.
Just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's dead. Just like the Predator. Rest in peace. Rest in peace of the Predator. There's multiple of you.
Yeah.
Alien versus Predator is terrible.
Yeah. Why don't you tell me what a good Predator is?
That's from the original Predator.
Yeah.
I'm talking AVP though.
What's that guy's name?
Minnesota. Governor.
Governor.
I can't remember his name.
This will turn you to damn sexual tyrannosaur.
What else are you talking? What else? Other games? Okay, all right. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We went over on time, but hey, welcome to. That's kind of what we do for Active Reload. To be honest with you, hey, subscribe to our channel, Active Reload. It should be in the description of the video you're watching. We greatly appreciate our Sheridan Media family for letting us post this on their YouTube channel as well. Subscribe to them as well, as always. Caught up with all the Sheridan Media stuff. Yep. We'll see you guys next week, right?
Yeah, happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
Independence Day. Woo.
Shout out The Sandlot.
Yeah, great.
Best 4th of July scene in any movie.
Yeah, you know what? There's the movie called Independence Day.
Well, yeah, but
Sandlot's really good.
Yeah. See you guys.
Peace.
Tuned and ready, let's go. Ninjas fighting on the screen. Pixel perfect arcade dreams. Retro world, a fevered glow. Weird games from the east side. Jiggle physics on the rise. Fantasy will never hide. Jump in and no need to bide. Active reload, hear the sound. Game on up and all around. High scores beating every bound. In this world we're arcade crowned. Controller bashing all night. Warrior spirit take flight. Comic realms in neon light. Digital worlds feel so right. Listeners gather, all you fans. Weird games, many different lands. From Japan to the arcane. Active reload, hands in hands. Active reload, hear the sound. Game on up and all around. High scores beating every bound. In this world we're arcade crowned. In this world we're arcade clowns.